Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Tracey Jones with one of my favorite times to speak to you, New Release Day. And today we have a book that I know you're all going to want to get. I have the tremendous pleasure of introducing an author who has dared to say what we're all thinking. Why does time management feel like such a waste of time? David Zelinsky is here with the 80/20 Life, the last time management book you will ever need. It's short, it's snappy, and it's packed with wisdom that actually worked. So, David, welcome. Let's get right into it.
Great, Tracy, let's do it.
I love this book. I'm so excited. And for our listeners out there, those of you that are familiar with our life-changing classic, that's what this is, okay? It's not a big 300-page book on time management. That would kind of defeat the purpose, right? Short, snappy is what I said. So let's talk about what's inside. So, David, big picture, you call this the last time management book we'll ever need. What sets this book apart from the mountains and mountains of time management advice that are already out there and we've probably already read?
Good question. So this book is different because it's short and it's just to the point, and it contains my opinions and strategies about time management. It's a quick read, and I believe if the reader even implements one or two strategies, they will see immediate progress.
I love it. I love it. And they will. All right, now to the next question. I'm sure our listeners are thinking 80/20, 80/20. I've heard that before, right? The Pareto principle. So that kind of grounds a lot of what you're talking about. And you tell readers that they can actually get real results by just reading the first two chapters of this book. So, what's in that first 20% that delivers 80% of the value?
Sure. So in chapter one, I describe the Pareto principle, the 80/20, which basically is 20% of your efforts will give you 80% of your results. Now, as you mentioned, many of the readers probably know what that is already. So if they do, then it's a refresher for them, right? If they don't, then they'll learn something. Chapter two just describes a very simple technique for attacking your to-do list.
Absolutely. And guys, like I said, I write and blog a lot on productivity, my Ivy League principle. I even have a 1 hour hourglass that I use. But for our listeners out there, David has a really phenomenal play on the 80/20 that you're really going to use a lot. So you have said that the best systems are simple and that over planning actually slows people down. So why does simplicity win when it comes to productivity?
Simplicity wins because it's easy to remember. If you are using a system that is overcomplicated, how can you remember everything, what you're supposed to do? It's confusing.
Absolutely. And folks, I know because I'm partial to the book. When David first came to me with the manuscript, I'm like, this is gold. This is absolutely gold. But he does give you a construct that you can employ immediately after reading. And you guys know I like resources like that. But in the book, you then tell a story where you were focused on cleaning out your garage while your checkbook was being emptied without you knowing. So what did that moment teach you about busy work?
Well, whether I was cleaning the garage or doing some other unimportant task, the point is because I wasn't paying attention to the checkbook, a bank teller embezzled $7,000 from our checking account. How can we recognize when we're not doing important tasks? Well, we may be making progress on our list, but really, is it meaningful? Is it important tasks being done? You have to ask yourself that.
Right. And your construct, the 80/20, will help people get to um, sweeping away all the administrative stuff that we get caught up in doing and think we've done stuff and really focus on what needs to be done, like watching your finances. And then you even talk about, multitasking. Oh, we think that's a great thing, but you really debunk the idea of multitasking. And instead, you call it switch tasking and background tasking as a more honest approach. So, what's the true cost of trying to do too much at once? And maybe you can tell the listeners a little bit about switch tasking and background tasking.
Well, the cost of multitasking can result, frankly, in a lot of stress and a lot of poor outcomes. We can't really do two things at once. We can't be ordering something online and writing a letter, for instance. It's a very simple example. Switch tasking really refers to what we do a lot of times. We will order something online, but we'll listen to music in the background. Okay, that's okay. But we're not really multitasking. It's a myth, in my opinion.
Mhm. And that's a great thing for us to recognize the cost of what that is. And just by helping the reader be aware of that, we can stop doing this, which wastes an awful lot of time. So you actually teach the reader how to use a notebook and a mind dump list so they can take immediate control. So can you walk us through how someone could actually try this system today without giving too much of the book away?
Sure. So I'm a big believer in to-do lists or task lists, whatever you want to call them. But I believe, keeping with the simple principle, that the titles of your lists, or items rather, on your list should be 2, 3 words maximum.
Mm.
Because now you can quickly scan the list and you'll know instinctively what needs to be done. You need to avoid writing out the tasks for each item on the list, because think how cluttered the list would get, right? We couldn't
Correct.
even make heads or tails of it. I suggest that if you need to write out the specific steps for that task, just write in another part of your notebook or your electronic organizer.
Excellent. And do you have a favorite that you use? Do you like to do it electronically or are you kind of old school with pen and paper?
I have to admit, in this day of technology, I'm still old school.
I am.
I have paper lists all around me here.
I do too, and I love it. I mean, I store a lot of stuff when I'm done with it, but everything is born with pen and paper. So, I like that because a lot of times the listeners will wonder, hey, what does he use? So for what's next, if the reader would get this book and put it down and take just one action today, David, what would you tell them to start with?
Simple. Commit 15 minutes to something you've been putting off,
Ooh,
something that's really important.
yeah.
And you'll probably find that the 15 minutes just flies right by. And further, you'll probably find you may finish that task because you have the momentum going now. It's all about getting started and actually
Yes.
doing something.
Well, Charles, my father would even say that he's like when it's like airplanes and taking off. 80% of again, 80% of the energy and focus and criticality of everything is, but once you get started, and that's what this book is really important. And David, tell me about the publishing process. I know a lot of people listening have written books or aspire to write a book. What was it like for you publishing a book?
Well, it's exciting, of course. And it was from an idea that was long brewing in my head. I will admit, I wrote a lot of it in longhand, putting it together. It's just how my thinking process works when I put something on paper.
Hmm. I
And
love
then,
it.
of course, when I got it to a reasonable level, the content of the book, I did reach out to you, Tracey, and your team has been fantastic at putting this together for us.
I appreciate that. And folks, for everybody, so this has been just really wonderful, David. Eye-opening listening to this. Folks, this can really help you get your life organized with tools that you can get today. So the 80/20 Life, the last time management book you'll ever need. If you are watching this video, it has dropped. Today's the day. So come on over to Tremendous Leadership, get a copy. It'll also be available on Amazon.com. And remember, as Charlie Tremendous Jones said, you will be the same person 5 years from now that you are today, except for two things: the people you meet and the books you read. So you make sure you get the 80/20 book, read that today. And David, just thank you for introducing yourselves to our listeners. I know it's been a real honor and inspiring, eye-opening time together for them to meet you. So thank you, David.
Thank you, Tracey, and your team, and all the best to the readers. And may you show great productivity.
I love it. And guys, if you get the book, David's contact information is in there so you can reach out to him and share how much this meant to you. So, everybody, again, David, thank you. To everybody out there, thanks for your support of Tremendous Leadership, of our authors. Have a tremendous rest of your day. Bye bye.
Bye now.